Hello, my name is Costa and welcome to the next edition of the Back Page. So let's get straight into it. It seems like George Cooper is going nowhere, as Peterborough are not expecting him to recall him from his loan at Plymouth Argyle. We'll bring you more about that later on. Also, we have the Western Morning News as Tilson leaves Exeter City in a switch for Ross County. We send our team at the Back Page over to Exeter to bring us more about that later on. Lastly, the national newspapers lead with Manchester United's victory at the FA Cup replay against Wolves as Juan Mata sends the Reds through to the next round. But first, let's get into it as George Cooper seems like he's staying at Plymouth Argyle for the rest of the season. We sent our team at the Back Page over to Home Park to talk to Ryan Lowe.
Ahead of Argyle hosting Mansfield Town at Home Park on Saturday, boss Ryan Lowe has reiterated that star midfielder George Cooper is going nowhere amidst rumours of him being called back to his parent club, Peterborough.
Could you clarify the situation?
He can't call him back. It's got to be a mutual agreement. And they've already asked me to and I've said no. So, that's it.
It is understandable why Argyle wants to keep Loney Cooper on the books after scoring important goals for the club and helping them propel up the table. Lowe has strongly insisted he is going nowhere and will remain an Argyle player for the rest of the season.
So as far as you're concerned, he won't be going anywhere?
Well, not I'm concerned, I'm the manager and I'm telling you, he's not going anywhere in January.
Yeah.
He is not going back to Peterborough, he's staying at Plymouth Argyle.
As Argyle return to the Theatre of Greens this weekend, boss Lowe has revealed how he's looking forward to facing the Stags after facing their manager, former Argyle man Graham Coughlin, 5 times already this season. Having won 7 of their last 10 games, Lowe has stressed how they need to take their game to the next level in his side's push for promotion.
Look, Graham's he's a good bloke, he's a good manager. He's obviously done a good outstanding job for this football club when he was a player. We've got mutual respect for each other. But we're locking horns against each other on Saturday. We respect Mansfield for what they are and what they've done previous. They've got some fantastic players in there. And we know it's going to be a tough encounter.
Argyle look to push on and secure their place in the promotion spots with a win over Mansfield this Saturday and seize the opportunity to reduce the gap in the playoff positions.
Thank you boys for your content. And even though the Back Pages lead with George Cooper staying at Plymouth Argyle, there's 2 other teams in Plymouth as well, as Plymouth Raiders and Plymouth Albion. We'll move on to the basketball team, who have lost every league game this season. We find out more with Jock Guthrie from the Back Page.
Plymouth Raiders have struggled for consistency throughout the 2019-20 season. They are currently out of the BBL Cup, BBL Trophy and sit at the bottom of the BBL without a win since October last year. They have had a fair few setbacks, especially in recent weeks, with star point guard Josh Wiltshire requiring an operation for a non-basketball related injury, as well as power forward Rashad Hassan, who dislocated his shoulder against London Lions. Both of these players are expected to return in early February. 3 new signings have also been introduced into the club in Sam Daniel, Ron Mvuika and Leslie Smith to help the team improve in all aspects on the court. Whilst the defence looks to be improving with these signings, they still haven't been able to shut out teams for the full 40 minutes, with slips in concentration allowing their opposition to gain control in their matches. Their next game sees them face Surrey Scorchers, who are 5th in the BBL table, after a defeat to Newcastle Eagles at the weekend. I spoke to Raiders head coach Paul James to get his thoughts on the tie.
Every game's a tough outing for us, and actually, we're our own worst enemies right now in just not doing the things that we're supposed to do. And one minute we do, and we think we're getting over the hump a little bit, and then the next game we don't. So right now, if we can put a 40-minute game together and do what we're supposed to do, we now give ourselves a chance of winning the game. And that's what we have to do against Surrey. We have to go in there. They're a tough team to beat on their floor, but we've got to go in there and compete both ends of the floor, and everybody's got to do their job.
With a couple of Surrey's players suspended for the match, Raiders fans will feel they have a real chance to end their bad run of form and bring back a W to pavilions.
Thank you very much. Football seems to be dominating the Back Pages a lot. However, there's no mention of Exeter Chiefs Stuart Hogg leading Scotland into the Rugby Six Nations as Scottish captain this year. The hooker, who has 71 caps to his name, will be leading the country for the first time against Ireland on February the 1st. Obviously, we have Plymouth Albion locally here in Plymouth and Exeter Chiefs just 40 minutes away from us. Harrison Lane found out more about them two clubs.
Welcome to this week's Rugby Roundup. Exeter Chiefs travelled away to Glasgow Warriors with the game ending in an enthralling draw, 31-31. This win put Exeter Chiefs through to the quarter-finals of the Champions Cup after an unbeaten start to the tournament. They head away this weekend to La Rochelle, hoping to carry on this spectacular form. We now head even more local to Plymouth Albion, who this weekend ended up going up 21-10 to Old Ethamians in the league, starting this year, 2020, unbeaten. They now head away this weekend to Canterbury, who are bottom of the league, hoping to carry on this spectacular form and turn their season round. We now hear from head coach James Skaisbrook on all of his thoughts.
I think it was definitely a real performance that they showed they're willing to work for each other. At the start of the second half, they had a lot of pressure on our line and we fought really hard and just showed how willing they are to work for one another. So it was a real pleasing thing, and you can definitely see that the rest of our game is coming together. That they're getting used to playing that way, and that they're making progress every session, every game. We see a lot of them making progress at the moment.
Now, to finish off, we're going to dig into the back pages, starting with the Plymouth Herald, as 3 consecutive wins see Julia Wetton and Anne Short extend their lead in the tennis Division B by 83 points. Well done to them. Now, moving on to the Guardian and staying with tennis, we have the Australian Open upon us, and we have the usual suspects in the men's draw in Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer and the great Rafa Nadal. In the women's draw, we will also have Serena Williams. We wish them the best of luck in their first major of the year. And to finish off, we have cricket for you with the Western Morning News, as this is the final test in South Africa. Who will replace Jimmy Anderson is still to see. So, all you can do now is get yourself a paper, dig into the back pages, and enjoy your lovely day. This has been Luis Costa, and we'll be back with the next edition of the Back Page.
Ain't you got it yet?